people coming up in marketing, they try to be good at everything. And while interesting, I think it's important to be expert at something and then grow from there.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show the Senior Vice President of Marketing at Full Glass Wine Company, the brand acquisition and management firm focused on acquiring and operating direct-to-consumer wine companies. Aaron Magness, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Absolutely. And first, we got to shout out eTail Palm Springs. That's where we met. Everyone go to conferences. They're awesome.
I mean, always focusing on, being present and focused on your network, I think is always a big deal in career planning.
Absolutely. All right. So, Aaron, quickly, what is Full Glass Wine Company all about? What are you doing over there? What are some of the brands that you're operating? Would I have heard of any of them?
Yeah, definitely. So Full Glass Wine, as you mentioned, we own and operate a number of direct-to-consumer wine brands. Think about it, Wink, Wine Insider, Splash, Scout and Cellar, Wine Access, just some of your favorite brands that are out there selling wine directly to consumers. Really trying to find these amazing brands, give them the love they need to help them grow. And that's, how we're bringing them to market.
That's amazing. Now, take me back in time. Where did your career in e-commerce kind of kick off?
Career in e-commerce, that was 100 years ago, pre-e-commerce, but it's actually good timing. Yesterday was my son's middle school career day, so we talked a bit about this. So actually, it's kind of crazy. So I went to University of Wisconsin, and then I moved to San Francisco for a job with Bloomberg in August 2001. September 11th happened. And that incoming class was canceled. We weren't supposed to start till October 2001. So here I was in San Francisco. The dot-com bubble had just burst. Everyone was looking for jobs. Unemployment was rampant. So I ended up, pretty much knocking on every bar I could find and seeing if I can get a job. And then I really lucked out through that. Met someone who had a contact at Williams-Sonoma Inc. And I ended up getting an opportunity to get a job there where at the time, it was brand new, but the focus was building out the business-to-business channel within Williams-Sonoma Inc. So it's actually this really startup environment to get off the ground, see if there's a there, and really push forward. And I think that's where I got my real focus in. Just get it done, figure it out, and then really the mindset around entrepreneurialism and startups. It was great.
Absolutely, and obviously you had a couple gigs between now and then.
Yeah.
Any highlights kind of in your journey to getting to this SVP level?
Yeah, I've been super lucky to work with some amazing brands, over the years. Iconic brands, after Williams-Sonoma, I went and joined Zappos, where, we were just breaking every rule in the book when it came to e-commerce. And, from there, you really learned how to, move as quickly as possible. If the rule's not written, then go ahead and write your own. Or if it is already written, think, is there a better way to do it? And really putting the focus around, customer experience. And I worked with some of the most amazing people in that time. We ended up getting acquired by Amazon, and I was stayed on there for a little over a year, and then continue to really from that be like, okay, the drive, the smaller company that you can make an impact right away and really be able to build out the future of the business. So I really started focusing on startups from there on out. Moved to Canada for a great opportunity with a brand, Coastal.com, as we were going through a rebrand and expansion and focus. Got to work with more amazing people, one of the top entrepreneurs and Roger Hardy in all of Canada. And then just focus on smaller and smaller, earlier and earlier stage, Series B, Series A, and just continue to, find ways to drive impact. And I think from each of those, the key takeaway is take the chance, find the opportunity. It was a big move to move my young family to Canada as an example, but it was a really great and interesting opportunity. very big opportunity to come back and focus on Series A, Series B with a young family, right? But take the chance, figure out how you can have an impact and continue to grow. And then just through the ways, and most recently I was at Thistle, an amazing direct-to-consumer and a better-for-you meal subscription service. And that really got me excited about, how to think about consumers on a subscription business. So when the opportunity for Full Glass came along, I definitely jumped at it. I get to work with a couple of amazing entrepreneurs between Louis Amoroso and Neha Kumar. And thinking about, we have all these brands, and in the wine industry, in the wine category, we have the ability to talk to all the different segments along the way, whether you're young, just starting out in wine consumption, all the way to I'm retired and I'm looking to have, my everyday drinking wine, and everything in between. So the exciting opportunity to really put, a vision across all of these and see how you can stand them each individually up most effectively has been just a really amazing, almost coming up on a year. It's been amazing.
It also sounds like you kind of have landed at almost the dream job for you, because all of these sub brands are in and of themselves small businesses where you can have a huge impact, but overall it is a large company with a lot of moving pieces to where your senior level expertise can A, be afforded, and B, be put to good use. Yeah,
no, definitely. And I think, that's the key component. And we're a startup ourselves, really founded in 2023. Leighton, we've been acquiring these brands over the course of the last year. So it's really about, do we have the best team possible to set up? Do we have experts that can rally, understand startup mentality, right? Like, again, when, you're trying to bring back end systems together, it's not smooth sailing. Right. So got to be able to dig in, think quickly on your feet, and every day matters. So how do you make sure you're setting up your teams for success and giving them the resources they need to be successful?
Absolutely. And something that I find myself saying sometimes when I'm just talking about the agency, maybe even talking to prospects, is just like, we're learning 12 to 18 times faster than you are, because that's how many businesses we're interacting with at a time.
Yeah.
I would assume on your end, you learn something from company A and then you go B through Z. Let's take a look at this and see if it works.
And that's exactly it. And I think the important part of, of each of these brands, though, is I think, oftentimes people can think, and how do I peanut butter spread this across everything? I think the real opportunity is understanding what's the nugget of insight. And then how do I actually individualize that for each of these individual brands? And I'll give an example. We have an amazing brand, Wink. They're a subscription wine service that many of you may know. And from there, you can't just take what Wink is doing from a subscription side, and we don't want to make every other brand all about subscription. But what we can do is take what's interesting, what's working, and what's special about the subscription mindset, and then figure out how that works for this specific customer segment at, Next Brand Wine Insiders, for example. And Splash is more focused on, instead of a wine subscription service, it's everyday a la carte purchases, transactional purchases, but there's also a membership so that you get special offers, special discounts, things like that. So it really gives us the freedom to think broadly, and understand that each of these brands have their own special offerings and unique selling propositions and reasons to believe. And how do you take that nugget and then, give it its own oxygen to be able to be successful?
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceyeye.io. socialsnowball.io. What if every customer could help grow your brand without you lifting a finger? Social Snowball is the platform that turns word of mouth into a real growth engine for Shopify and TikTok shops. Here's how it works. Every time someone buys from you, Social Snowball can automatically turn that customer into an affiliate, giving them a unique referral link or discount code instantly. They can share it wherever they're already posting. Instagram stories, TikTok videos, YouTube hauls, you name it. You'll be able to track every referral and influencer sale, send commission payouts in 2 clicks, block codes from leaking to coupon sites, automate influencer seeding and gifting, and let affiliates cash out using over 700 payout options. Plus, it works seamlessly with your existing tech stack and channels like Shopify, Klaviyo, PostScript, and your TikTok shop dashboard. The craziest part is they are basically giving away free money. You can launch your affiliate program for free, which shouldn't take longer than a day if you focus, and enjoy a 30-day trial before ever paying for the app. That's right, you can use this software to turn your customers into affiliates for 30 days for free. To take advantage of this offer, go to socialsnowball.io/honest. That's socialsnowball.io/honest. Again, that's socialsnowball.io/honest. Would $1,000 help your business? Portless is giving new customers $1,000 to reinvest back into their business just for getting started. Right now, you are probably paying tariffs on most items in your warehouse before you even make a sale. That means your cash is just sitting there, trapped in inventory that might not even get sold. Not exactly a recipe for growth, right? But what if we told you there's a smarter way? With Portless, you only pay tariffs when an order ships after you've been paid by your customers. That means free up more working capital instantly, turn inventory into cash faster, and completely eliminate the risk of paying tariffs on unsold stock. Here's how it works. Portless helps you ship directly from China to your customers' doorsteps in just 5 to 8 days. Yes, that's exactly what Shein and Temu do, and you can do it too. You get access to your inventory days after manufacturing, keep less stock on hand, and only pay duties on what actually sells. No more guessing games, no more cash flow nightmares, just smarter, faster scaling. And remember, all new Portless customers get $1,000 to reinvest back into their business. Schedule your free strategy call today. Visit portless.com/honest. That's portless.com/honest. One more time, that's portless.com/honest. Shopify makes it easy to sell online, but unlocking streamlined global sales demands more. Don't let high cross-border fees, frustrating payment failures, and complex tax requirements hold back your store's international growth. Activate Reach instead. As a merchant of record, Reach helps high-growth brands like yours optimize global sales with local processing and automated tax compliance, all while protecting your store from fraud. Reach is already integrated with Shopify, so you can activate Reach with no extra dev work and start seeing results fast. Brands like Revolve and Everlane trust Reach to boost international approval rates to over 90% and cut cross-border costs by up to 40%. Expanding globally is just the first step. Optimizing performance is where the growth happens. Book a free, no-obligation consultation today and learn how you can level up your global sales at withreach.com/honest. That's withreach.com/honest. withreach.com/honest. Let's be real. Sales tax is a nightmare. You didn't start an e-commerce brand to stay up late Googling tax laws or stressing over whether you filed in the right state. If you're still trying to DIY your sales tax, or worse, using a tool that leaves most of the work on your plate, you need to check out Zamp. Zamp is a fully managed sales tax solution built specifically for e-commerce brands. That means actual experts handle everything: registration, filings, remittances, all of it. Brands like Tushy, Glamnetic, and David are already using Zamp to get sales tax off their plate. Some Zamp customers spend as little as 2 minutes a month thinking about tax. Imagine that. No confusing pricing tiers, no surprise fees, just one flat rate to make the entire mess disappear. And yes, it works seamlessly with Shopify, Amazon, BigCommerce, QuickBooks, and more. So, If you're tired of sales tax headaches and want to stop risking penalties or audits, go to zamp.com/honest and get 3 months free. That's ZAMP.com/HONEST. Zamp.com/honest. A lot of interviews on this podcast, the majority of them have been with founders, right? But I've learned just through my career and doing this is that's not everyone's going to be a founder, but they still do want their career to be in e-commerce and they want to level that up. So I love that I'm starting to talk to more entrepreneurs like yourself that are more just found their way in these other businesses. If I wanted to be, if I wanted to follow in your footsteps, what advice would you have to younger Aaron about hey, these are the things to do?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that it's important for all of us, right? And particularly, and I'll suggest particularly coming up in marketing. One, I think you have to be more curious than everyone else, right? You have to really drive on looking to understand, and not just for the customer aspect, but how does the business work? What are the unit economics, order economics? How does the data flow? You really have to, I think that's an area where marketing has changed over the years. Used to be about, okay, how do I build this brand with the beautiful video and have the right billboard and all that? And while all that is important, I think now marketing is more about the entire suite of experiences, everything from when someone comes to the site. Yes, what ads do they click on, but what is the post-purchase experience? It's much more all-encompassing. So being curious about each of those aspects is important. You have to really probably be an expert in something. I think, unfortunately, there's particularly with people coming up in marketing, they try to be good at everything. And while interesting, I think it's important to be expert at something and then grow from there, right? Because if you're an expert at something, you really know how to tease apart all the different aspects and peel all the layers of the onion. And then you can take that mindset to all the different other channels that you're in. So I think that's a key component, and really get excited about the data. I think that is something where as marketers, we are paid to make bets. That's what we do, right? And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but they should all come from strong points of view, which are very data driven. And I think, that's another shift where used to be able to have strong opinions and then opinions would win out. But now it's more about having a strong point of view that is backed up by data. So I think those are probably the key components. And then, talk to as many people as possible. Be open-minded that you don't know everything. Right? Let's be super clear. So how do you take insights from your team? How do you take insights from your peers? And how do you continue to try to learn about what's going on in the category? And for me, that's an area that's been really helpful, whether it's in my own personal investing or advising, because it forces me to think across categories, across divisions, across departments. So you're constantly challenging yourself to be fresh. So I think, to sum it those three, there's probably a solid 3 things to really be focused on.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to talk about just your role now, being, what does, a senior vice president of marketing do? Why is someone like that hired? What problems are they, is the founders or the C-suite looking to solve with putting a key person in that position?
Yeah, I think it sort of goes back to your first, point of view. Head of marketing, really what you're looking to do is take learnings from the entire portfolio and then make sure you have the right teams in place and empower your teams to make the right decisions as quickly as possible, right? Give them enough leeway and guidance on big picture goals, and then understand how they all work together across the portfolio. So I think that is a key component in a portfolio type structure like we have.
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, you're coming, from the Iron Throne and here's what we do and here's what we don't do. I think it's more about setting vision, helping people understand how each of these pieces of the puzzle work together to tell a big, broader story. And then, just really working with amazing people and giving them the clarity and guidance to, make smart decisions across the entire organization. And whether that's within, how we think about e-com specifically, or growth, or lifecycle CRM, or each of our individual brands. There's all these different pieces of the puzzle that, hopefully what I'm doing is helping people see what the end goal is to be, so they know where the pieces actually go.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you've been there just over a year. Any wins worth mentioning that you've experienced along the way?
I say we've had, some great wins. And I think in any business, and it's been just under a year. It's been in any great business, you're better than you are. You're better today than you were 6 months ago. And hopefully in 6 months, you're going to be a lot better than you are today. Right. But I'd say we've had some pretty solid breakthroughs that come down to traditional clarity around how we think about marketing and go to market. Do we have clear calls to actions or reasons to believe? If I'm seeing an ad, when I come to the site, am I having a similar experience or an expected experience to improve the conversion rate? Are we bringing in great customers? I think if you go back to, all marketers in, early 2020s and pandemic, we were super fortunate. We could be pretty lazy, right? Just go spend some money. Everyone out in the wild has free money. And interest rates are zero, so they can just go about spending it. I think right now there's a big focus on, like I said, order economics. Do we have the right order margin structure to give us permission to actually lean into growth? So that's been a big opportunity. And then, just really focusing on bringing in great customers instead of all customers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been allowing us to drive real growth on both top line and bottom line, but additionally, really improve retention across each of our portfolio companies.
Yeah.
And that is where you grow successful businesses along the way, like bringing in great customers, give them a great experience, and then that drives them to come back and stick with you.
I mean, I think that's the super fun thing about your portfolio of brands. It leans so well into things that I think make a good business. It's consumable. It is subscription friendly out the wazoo. And it leads to a better, like you said, a better customer, because you don't want a customer that's a one-time purchaser forever. And you don't want a customer that's only buying on discount. You want someone that will buy whenever because they believe in the product and they like the product.
And to go even a step further, it is so risky to have a one and done customer in our category because shipping bottles of wine is expensive as hell.
And risky. You got some UPS guy that's dropping it.
Yeah. So I think that's also a key component. And then one thing where I think we're, pretty fortunate. And again, from Lewis and Aha's vision of where the opportunity is, we know everyone isn't buying 100% of their wine from any one of our brands, right? So we have the opportunity on the back end from a data perspective to start to understand how this person is consuming, what their motivations are. And then we can then figure out, are they buying from the best brand for them? Or can we give them a better experience, which will then be rewarded with more retention from one of our other brands, right? So I think that's also a really interesting opportunity that we have that other players in the space may not have because they're very focused on that specific brand. And as I think we both know, once you churn out of a brand, it's actually hard to get them to come back into that brand. So if you can actually introduce them to someone else, which provides a great experience and a great opportunity for them at a great value, you actually have the ability to really stretch that lifetime value for that customer.
That's amazing, Aaron. Now, is there anything I didn't ask you about that you think would resonate with our audience today?
Well, I guess it really depends on, who the focus of the audience is. What I assume, to your point, you talk to primarily founders, senior leaders. So a lot of your audience is probably looking like, okay, how do I ascend in my career to get there? And I think that's just an area we did touch on in a bit. But, right now there's a lot of, AI is everything that people are saying, I could just create an agent that works with me and I'm going to be a superstar and not have to worry about it. I think one thing, and I think Microsoft just came out with a study that showed that people's cognitive abilities, they feel they're actually decreasing the more they rely on AI. So I guess where I'm going with that is, as marketers, again, we have to know and appreciate the customer and the business efforts and the, market dynamics directly and personally. And we can't rely on a tool or a service to, sort of run that for us. So for us, it's making sure you maintain and ensure the knowledge and then use these other tools to accelerate your efforts,
Yep.
make them faster, make them easier, but you can't outsource the knowledge, right? So I think that is a key component that I think very quickly we're seeing a lot of people sort of jumped all the way to the side and just rely on everything from an AI perspective without putting the thought and intelligence into the resourcing of the information. So I would just encourage people, yes, embrace the future, embrace tech, embrace data, but also you have to internally understand and appreciate the business.
Yeah, you still have to level up your own skills.
That's right.
Just with any effort of anything in life, if shit in is shit out. If you're not trying to get a better result, you won't get a better result. And if you just take a step back, and I forget who told me this, and I believe it was on the podcast, someone mentioned this a few episodes ago. Just statistically, a large language model is based upon all the junk on the internet.
There's a lot of junk,
and it's just going to be the average.
Yeah.
An AI can only give you an average thing. So if you don't help it and put some more special sauce on top of that with your own perspective, your own knowledge, your own strategy, you're not going to be better than anyone else.
Well, and having a true appreciation of, obviously, yes, average, but often not right. I was talking to someone recently, and they were using AI to do some analysis. Smart approach, but then the outcome, it doesn't matter what the metric was, but is 8%. And so they went forward with that.
It just hallucinates.
If they would have thought about the business and understood, for this metric, 8% makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like they didn't take that extra second. And I think that is so important again. And I think that's where tomorrow's leaders are really going to lean in. They're going to have a full appreciation of the knowledge and understanding, and then they'll utilize these tools to be faster, smarter, move more quickly, but they're not, they're not going to rely on that as opposed to their own experiences.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny. Like I won't let AI give me numbers when we're building out case studies or anything like that, just because it just makes stuff up. And I'm like, where'd you get this number from?
Right. I mean, and you can, yeah. So anyway, so I think that's a key component, embrace technology. And it was hard going back to, remember when programmatic first was becoming a thing, and then all of a sudden your ads are showing up to all sorts of people in all weird places, right? So then we have to learn, we have to adapt. Fortunately, in the marketing world, we are often at the forefront of what technology is providing and the capabilities that are bringing to market. So embrace it. Yeah, but let's make sure we understand it and understand where the upsides and potential downsides are.
Awesome. Now, Aaron, you talked about all the amazing brands that you guys have under your umbrella. Any specific ones you want to shout out to the listeners for them to go check out and maybe potentially buy some product? I
mean, yeah, and not to go through a laundry list, but I think the beauty of what we offer again is someone for everyone. And if you think of, I'm just getting into wine consumption, I'm super busy, time starved, I want fun, exciting wines that I can't find anywhere else, Winc is perfect. If you know a bit about wine and you're looking for a broader selection, that you want to be able to pick and choose from, Wine Insiders is great. If you're looking for clean, zero sugar, all this, organic approaches to wine, Scout and Cellar is wonderful. If you're looking for amazing, hard to find wines that you know about, but you can only, they're not available in market anymore. We're able to secure 50 cases. Wine access is great. And then lastly, if you're having a party, a big event, and you need, a case of wine at a great value, Splash is wonderful. So I think the reason I'm trying to, not necessarily pitch each one is to show we've intentionally made sure that each brand stands for something different. So you do have the ability to talk to different customer segments and introduce them to, great values across the entire portfolio.
We could talk for 15 minutes just about the choices to have such niche audience to specific brands.
Yeah.
But we are running out of time. Yeah. Where do we find you on the internet, Aaron, if people want to get a hold of you?
Primarily, I try to, I've backed off a few of the other social platforms, but LinkedIn is a good spot. You can find me there. And like I said, I often help other startups and other marketers. So if you want to reach out via LinkedIn or at my website, aaronjmagness.com.
Awesome, Aaron. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
All right, take care. Thank you.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.